The Fearless Launching Show was created to answer the question, how can I launch my big idea to the world in the most simple, straightforward way possible and reach more of the right people? I'm your host, Ann Samoylov, and I've been helping 6- and 7-figure business owners launch for over a decade. And while I love geeking out about improving launches, new launch strategies, what's working, what's not working, I'm also obsessed with exploring the heart, the mind, the challenges of running your own business. And that's what we're going to do each and every week. I want to show you how to launch that course or coaching program or other creative work and navigate the journey of being an online entrepreneur. So if you're ready for some new perspectives, some new stories around launching, well, I can't wait to share those with you. Let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome to this Monday morning refocus session. Today we're going to be talking about the dreaded delete button. That's right. So the delete button is a funny little thing because it allows you to not embarrass yourself. Sometimes you use it to protect yourself when you don't want to share what you thought you wanted to share. That delete button is always there. Even after you posted, sometimes you delete things. It's there to save us from mistakes, potential mistakes. Sometimes it's there to clear the clutter, get rid of all those things that we thought we needed to say, but after we look into it or we rewatch, re-listen, reread, there are things we just don't need to say. So the delete button can come in handy. It can also protect us, right? So let's dive into this idea of editing ourselves. And that's really what the delete button allows us to do. That's one of the ways we use the delete button is to edit. Editing ourselves happens for so many different surface and internal reasons. Maybe we feel uncomfortable because we're not sure what to say. So maybe that kind of shows a lack of confidence in what we're saying or lack of clarity even. There might be some worry about what we're going to say and how people will respond to it. Maybe that's a fear of rejection or judgment or something like that. So the delete button is there to make sure we get everything we need out in the best way possible. And then it allows us to actually go back through and just be like, okay, I'm going to be the owner of this. I get to say what I want to say and I get to leave out what I don't want to leave out. And we do this as self-preservation, but also if we're asking ourselves, does my audience need to hear this? Is this going to give value to them in some way? Or can I just lose that and there's still the value and the training, the education, the inspiration, whatever it is? I want to be that person dictating my story, not somebody else. And, from the outside, somebody else might say every single thing and then some in their commentary, but you get to decide what story you put out there. And just as I think most of us are aware of now, we see this and you likely see this on a regular basis. Social media is very much an edited reality, right? That's no shocker. People get to show you what they want to show you, and they don't have to show you what they don't want to show you. So it is your choice for social media, for instance, and that is the most common, most glaring, right in your face example that we all deal with. But we get to decide what we want to put out there and what we want to make part of our brand or business story and what we want to include in podcasts, even like this. How personal do you want to get with your customers, with your clients, on webinars, whatever? Is it on brand for you to go a little bit further? Share all the non sequiturs. And you might start out that way, but you get to change what story you're telling, what information that you believe will help your audience or help them trust you. And some people do want to share the whole story, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all of that, and that's great. Or they want to just share all the dirty details or the good details, whatever the case is, and that's fine too. This is all up to you. So let's talk about this delete button because I think when we're talking about deleting stuff or not posting, we're thinking that that is a bad thing. But as I'm talking through editing as a form of deleting, it's not a bad thing, right? I think that's why I wanted to bring it up today, because I think we're so often told and encouraged, get over yourself, stop editing yourself, just post. And while I do believe that sometimes, but I think there is a time for editing yourself. And I think there is a space where we get to look at what we recorded, for instance, on Descript, which is what I use to record my podcasts, write my scripts, whatever, which is, if you're, by the way, if you're not using Descript, Descript, you definitely want to, because it is game changing if you're creating any type of content, even if you don't have a podcast. It just happens to be what I use that most for. Because let's say you start a new project, you start recording, and you're just trying to get the thoughts out. And Descript, if you're using this tool, it automatically transcribes your words as you're recording. Then you get to go back and you get to kind of select everything and remove all the ums, the ahs, and the ands, and the what the. And for instance, you can define some of those additional extra words, but they're usually, it gives you that option to actually remove those. Now, you might not want to remove those because that is so you to have all those oohs, ahs, ums, and that kind of thing. But when you use Descript, you can actually remove them from the transcript and then immediately from the audio and video. It just removes everything, which I think I love so much because it just makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to see visually what you're writing. And I think you can actually record video as well and remove parts of the video, which, like I said, right now I'm just using it to create content, usually podcast content. So for me, you notice I said, you may or may not hear that in the final cut. So being able to do that really allows you to tighten things up. So the delete button obviously allows you to edit yourself, especially if you're just trying to get that message out, the right story out, or you're trying to share something that's useful and valuable and really speaks to who you are. Use the delete button as self-preservation so that you find your comfort level. You don't have to be all out there with anything. So that's an amazing tool to have, the delete button. Also, especially in the case of this tool, Descript, which I'll put a link below, and it will be an affiliate link, but literally it is the first person who shared this with me. I got it, I signed up, and then I was like, voxing her, sending her a Voxer message. Oh my God, Trina, this changed my life. Thank you so much. It's so easy to use. Wow. And so anyways, I highly recommend it. There's no tool that I haven't been like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got that, more than this tool. And it does help you with this delete button. Instead of just fully deleting it, you can go through and tighten things up, tighten words up, and it really allows you to do that. And it's very inspiring to just be able to do it so quickly. So tightening up is the form of deleting things. I'm saying this again just because deleting doesn't just mean like, oh, I'm not posting this. It's being able to critically look at what you've created and editing it so that the meaning becomes stronger, so that someone can listen to you and be like, oh, wow, I totally get what you're saying. This is super powerful. This hit me. I didn't have to wade through a lot of extra words and stories. You just got right to the point. And so don't be afraid to use that delete button as the editing, self-preservation, tightening things up tool. So now you get to choose what you do, and you get to choose what you share. But before we go into kind of closing this refocus session out, I want to like encourage you. And by the way, I'm probably going to take out as many of the filler words as I can. So we'll see what you hear when you actually listen to this. I would like it if there's at least one time a day or a week, you decide, but that every so often, when you've created something that you want to share with other people, you set out to share, that you stop and you ask yourself, Am I not posting this? And usually it's something you're like, I don't really know if I should post this. If you're feeling like that, first ask yourself if you can tighten things up. And if you can, and you're just nervous about the actual content, not whether it's expressed clearly or not, I want you to just post it. Okay? I do want you to flex that muscle, do that once in a while to kind of push yourself. Okay? And I want you to just do that even if it doesn't feel totally put together. I don't want you to overthink things and be like, well, this needs editing. I've got to edit. Got to edit this. Got to tighten it up. Sometimes it's good to post, to get out of your own way and just post, right? Okay, so as we refocus this week, that is the one thing I want you to do. Sure, use that delete and edit button to tighten things up. Sure, empower yourselves to start creating the reality you want to share for your business, you want to share with your audience, and not just because someone else is doing it, but also one time today or this week, post something, share something with someone that feels a little bit risky, a little bit like, I'm not sure if this is coming out the right way, but here goes nothing. Because that sometimes that can be an amazing boost. You find some interesting reactions to that. And if you're going to get a reaction at all, right? Okay. So I want to first of all thank you for listening to this week's refocus session. But guess what? We still got to refocus. So I want you to sit now, if you can hit pause anytime now, and just write down what you really want to accomplish this week. And you can just write it longhand. You don't have to do a list. This is not setting your top 3 like I've talked about before necessarily. What is it that you want to accomplish this week? And maybe a few things you can get going on today that will help you towards that thing you want to accomplish or refocus on. Remember, these refocus sessions that I'm sharing with you today are quick episodes once a week that we do just to help you stop and think about what it is you want to do for the week and give you a little tidbit of something extra to listen to. And let me just tell you, deleting is a big deal. So if you're creating content on a regular basis. Okay. Now, we also do have a handful of free 15-minute refocus sessions, and I want you to sign up for those because they are really easy. They're quick and dirty, and they go by pretty quickly, and they actually go pretty quickly. So if you see some on the schedule, just grab them and go. Grab one and go. And there's a link in the show notes. So grab a spot and you can, if there are available, you can in theory do them every single month with me if you want. That will be fun, right? Just all right for free, which is a big deal. This is not a sales call. I will not be selling you something on the call. I'm just going to help you refocus. Simple as that. Okay. I think that's it. I'm not hitting the delete button. Actually, you probably are going to hear all my fillers in this. I'm just going to hit save and I'm going to export and I'm going to get this out to you. So, all right. Take care. And I'm going to see you on Thursday. Thursday, we've got a really cool episode coming that's all about sunsetting your course, your online course. So if you've got an online course and I've been thinking like, what do I do with this thing? I'm not sure what I want to do with this thing. You want to tune in for that. All right. Have a great week and I'll talk to you on Thursday.